Chapter 11, Lesson 5, using recursive rules with sequences. So recursive rules are going to be a little different than what we have looked at before. Recursive formula is a formula for finding the next term in a series from the previous term. So typically with a recursive formula, you will need to use the term before it to find your next term. So here is a classic example of a recursive sequence. This one in particular is called the Fibonacci sequence, used or found, not really used, but found a lot in nature and biology. So that is the Fibonacci sequence. It is a recursive sequence, meaning finding the next term depends on using previous terms. So looking here, right, we have 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So it's a little tricky because we have the first two digits are the same, and then it's a +1, and then another +1, and then a +2. Right? These are ones, this is a 0, right? So repeat 1, and then a +1 from 1 to 2, +1 from 2 to 3, then a +2 from 3 to 5, and then an increase by 3 here to get from 5 to 8. 5 plus 3 is 8, and then 8 plus 5 would be the 13. So what we see is we use the previous two terms to calculate the next term. So right here, to calculate the next term, we are going to add the 8 and the 13. And we can backtrack that, right? 0 plus 1 is this 1 here. And then 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on. So my next term would be 21. And so we could write this in a couple of different ways. Finding the term is equal to previous term plus the term before that, right? That would look like this. Some people say next term, right? A to the n plus 1 equals our current term plus the previous term. Either way, we find our next term by adding the two previous terms. So that would be a classic example of a recursive sequence. Our examples, day 2 examples, are not going to be that involved. So what we see here is we have a first term of 5, right? We have a first term of 5, and then to find each additional term, it just tells us right here, next term is equal to our term plus 7. So we're just going to go with a plus 7 here all the way down the line. On the calculator, then we would say, we would just do, we'd put the 5 in our calculator, and then we could just hit plus 7, and then if we want the next 4 terms, there they are. Right, so there are our first 5 terms of that sequence. Okay, and then our other example for this lesson is a bit more involved, but we have a first term of 4, and then our next term is found by taking the previous term, multiplying it by 3, and adding 2. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 14 times 3 is 42, plus 2 more is 44, right? I would just calculator that. I'd put the 4 in, and then I can hit times 3 plus 2. There are my first 5 terms. Some people are bothered by that not being in the right order. We can put 3 times our answer. Nope, 3 times our answer. Some people are bothered by that not being put in the calculator in the exact fashion that it's on the screen. And I could say, okay, 4 equals, or yeah, 4 enter to enter that 4 in there. And I can go 3, and then that second subtraction or negative sign gives me that previous answer option, and then +2. And there they are. So those are my first 5 terms of that sequence, like that. Okay, so those are some just basic recursive things. Your assignment will be pretty basic as well. And then we will be moving on to the test here shortly.